Hey friends, Steve Guttenberg here, and I am the audiophiliac. So the thing I'm trying to express today, well, it's based on a conversation I had with Mark Levinson a long, long time ago. And he said something to me along the lines of, if your hi-fi system, if your audio system is sort of directing you to listen to music that sounds good on your system and not listening to music that you actually like, or let's say like more, there's something terribly wrong with your system. It's the sign of the audiophile disease, that your system is sort of taken over and is now basically forcing you to listen to music because it sounds good on that particular collection of pieces. So, and I'll give you an example. So I had a pair of quad ESL 63s, great speakers, and I had a bunch of different electronics with it. I remember I had audio research. I had a lot of good stuff. And I was listening to more classical music, more acoustic jazz, less rock, really quiet music, and it sounded great. The quads are really transparent speakers. But it was around this time when it was all the processes was starting to form here, and Mark Levinson's quote was ringing in my head, that when I started doing reviews, I became a hi-fi reviewer, and I was listening to speakers other than my own quads. I was listening to dynamic speakers, and I came to the realization that I was having more fun listening to the dynamic speakers than to my quads. My quads were great speakers, but I started to feel they weren't great speakers for me, and it was true. And I sold the quads. I had a good long run with the quads, but I never looked back. I never wanted to own another pair of electrostatic speakers, because what they do doesn't line up with what I want from a pair of speakers. I'm more interested in speakers that are dynamic, have more bass power than my quads, or most, let's say, pure electrostatic speakers that don't also have dynamic woofers in them. And I find that electrostatic speakers with dynamic woofers in them don't really gel well enough for me to go that way. So no, I'm sticking with dynamic speakers. And of course, magnepans, which are sort of closer, have some of the thing of a panel speaker, because of like an electrostatic panel, but with more balls and more of the things that I need. So, but I think the moral of the story here is that owning a great speaker that got great reviews and is acknowledged by audiophiles, and it's a great speaker or a great system, but it doesn't line up with what you want out of your system, something's got to go. And it's not you. It's the gear. You got to make those changes to get it to work for you, not direct you to do things and listen to things just because they sound good on that system. Now, I learned a lot listening to my quads. I learned about transparency, and I listened to more classical music, which is a good thing, and I listened to more, quieter acoustic music. And it's not to imply that I listen to loud rock and roll and raucous music all the time. I just was leaning, my personal taste lean more in that direction than to classical music. So, thank you, Mark Levinson, wherever you are. And I'm pretty sure it was Mark Levinson. Maybe it was somebody else. I'm almost positive it was Mark Levinson that said that to me. But again, the moral is, if you have a system that is a really good system, but you find yourself listening to things that don't really line up with your own tastes, it may be time for a change. Maybe time to rethink what you've put together there. I think that's it for today. My name is Steve Guttenberg, and I am the audiophiliac. Please come back tomorrow. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if it makes sense to you every now and then. And I'll see you soon.